Hi guys, this is Diya and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm very excited as you can see because I'm going to cook in my clay cookware first time ever. So if you guys don't know, I have already posted a video on 5 safe cookware options that you should be using, and if you're using anything else, throw it away. That's what I did. I threw away a lot of my cooking utensils because they were toxic. If you want to watch that video, I will link it somewhere up above and also in the description box below, so watch that video for sure. And because I had thrown a lot of cookware, I had to buy new ones. So I have bought 2 sets of cookware. So this is the first set, which is the clay cookware, and I'm going to cook in it today. I'm going to share the entire process with you, and I've already seasoned them. So from seasoning, how to season, 2 ways of seasoning the clay pots, then how to use them, what not to do, so do's and don'ts, and the aftercare, so how to clean and to store your clay pots. So I'm going to share everything in this video, so make sure to watch this video till the end. Now I'm going to start with the seasoning followed by the cooking. So let's get started with the video.
Hey, where have you been? I've been looking for you now and then.
Now let's see how to season clay pots for first use. If your clay pot is unglazed, you need to season it. To season, you need to soak it in water for 1 to 2 days and then let it dry completely before coating it with vegetable oil. I will show you the entire process. Soaking the clay pot in water for at least 24 hours will bring moisture to its porous inner surface, allowing the food to steam while cooking, so the food doesn't dry out. After you soak, you can hear a slight sizzle sound if you notice, as water is entering those pores. Once soaked, the pot should be dried in sun for 1 full day. After it has dried, the interior unglazed surfaces should be coated with vegetable oil. After coating it well with oil, set it aside till all oil is absorbed, and then your clay pot is seasoned and ready for use. Another way to season the clay pot is by using cooked rice water. Add some extra water while cooking rice, and once it is cooked, strain that excess water in another bowl. Add some more water to it to increase the quantity and soak your washed and rinsed clay pot in this rice water for 3 days, making sure you change the rice water each day. I preferred the first method to season the clay pot, and it worked perfectly fine. Seasoning the pot will not only strengthen its surface and prevent cracks, but it will also add a shine on its inner surface, which makes it naturally non-stick.
Someone just like you, who can make me feel the way you do. 'Cause if I'm the ocean, you're the rain.
Now, so that I have seasoned my clay pots, they are ready to be used. So let's try cooking rice kheer, kadhai paneer and roti today, all in new clay pots and pans. Because I will be using the clay cookware first time, I want to prep everything in advance. So let me first do few preps before I start cooking. I will first take out all the ingredients that I will need for kadhai paneer. I will need roasted gram flour for the recipe, so I'm roasting it in my iron kadhai, as I do not want to roast gram flour first thing in clay pot. Not sure how will it go, so let me be safe and roast it on this side. I will use the same kadhai to marinate the paneer cubes and later saute it.
'Cause if I'm the ocean, you're the rain. We only need each other, baby, you know we're the same. Let's run away. All I need is you, now and always. You and me, you and me.
I will also crush some ginger garlic in mortar and pestle. Adding a dash of salt helps to speed up the crushing, as it gives mortar and pestle some grip to grab onto. Also, a word of advice, stay away from Chinese grown garlic, the ones that are white and has no roots, as these are heavily treated with chemicals and are cultivated using industrial and sewer water in China. Prefer the garlic that has a purple hue on its skin and still has roots attached, as it is a sign that it is not treated with harsh chemicals and is natural and organic. Anyway, let me chop the vegetables I require, and while I'm chopping the veggies for the curry, let me heat some water in the clay handi so that I can start making the rice kheer, as rice will take at least 20 minutes to cook. So it's better to get it started early. Do not heat the clay pot empty. Either add water or oil depending on what you are cooking. I want to cook rice, so I will go ahead and add water. You can add room temperature water when you begin cooking, but once the pot is hot, only add warm or hot water. As soon as I added water, I heard a sizzle sound, and when I observed it closely, I found that the clay pot had a hole at the bottom and water was leaking from beneath. I was so disappointed. This certainly is a defect while making, which got unnoticed when I purchased the pot. I later observed that the handi's lid was very well built. It was strong. Also, the handi's side were thick, but the bottom was not thick bottom, in fact quite thin. So this is a great tip, guys, that whenever you are buying clay pots, first prefer to buy a kadhai, and if you want to go for a deep handi, make sure it is heavy and thick bottom. Another trick is to knock the bottom of the pot. You should hear a tang sound. The louder the sound, the good it is to buy. If you try to knock a used pot, the sound will be hollow or low pitched. So make sure to follow these steps to buy a new clay pot. Anyway, now so that I cannot use this pot, let me use the glaze pot to cook rice, and let's see how good or bad it is. But before that, let me start cooking the kadhai paneer. I read somewhere that if you're cooking in a clay pot for the first time, add little more oil, and gradually your clay pot will require less oil to cook and will also have a shine in its inner surface, which acts as a non-stick coating. So today I will add 2 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of ghee. I am using low flame to start the cooking process, as I do not want to shock the clay pot by instantly putting it on high flame. I will let the temperature rise naturally. I have now added cumin seeds, and I can see the oil is still not hot, so I will wait another minute before adding other spices. Now oil seems to be hot, so I will add 2 bay leaves, 6 to 7 cloves, 2 sticks of cinnamon, 3 red chilies, and 2 pods of cardamoms. Saute the whole spices for around a minute and then add asafoetida or hing, followed by 2 finely chopped onions. I want to caramelize the onions, and I feel the flame is too low, so I will be transferring the pot to the bigger stove. I'm making sure I keep stirring the onions, as I do not want the food to stick to the bottom of the pot. I'm yet not sure if food sticks to a clay pot or not. We will find it soon. I will also start cooking kheer in the glazed pot. I want to mention here that if you're buying the new clay pot, do not prefer a glazed pot. Always go for unglazed one, as that's where all the health benefits lies, and not in the glazed pot. Because one of my pots was defected, I am using glaze pot to cook rice pudding. I will start to boil the water in the glaze pot, and once water is hot, I will add pre-soaked rice. On the other side, the onions are nicely caramelized. So now I will add spices. But before adding spices, I have transferred the pot again to smaller stove so that the spices do not get burned. I am adding all basic masalas like coriander, cumin, turmeric, red chili, garam masala, and roasted gram flour. Now I will let the spices roast well on low flame, as this will add a lot of flavor to the curry. After about 10 minutes, the water is boiling, so I will add rice. I think I've added a little too much water, so taking some water out. While spices are roasting on low flame, I will grate 2 tomatoes. For kadhai paneer, I prefer to grate and not puree the tomatoes, as it gives that dhaba style texture to the gravy. I will now add the grated tomatoes to the gravy and let this cook on simmer for few minutes or till oil separates. Once the gravy has separated the oil from the sides, I will add 1 tablespoon yogurt and kasuri methi to the gravy. This is room temperature yogurt and not straight from the fridge to avoid temperature shock, as sudden change in temperature might crack the pot. If we understand and follow this simple rule to avoid giving temperature shock to our clay pots, they are very easy to use. Actually, not only in clay pot, but whichever material you are cooking into, never add cold water to your food that is already heated up, as sudden reduction in the food's temperature will destroy much of the food's nutrients. So always add hot water to already cooked food. Now the rice is half cooked, so I will add warm milk to the kheer. I will let the kheer cook on low flame for 15 to 20 minutes till the rice is completely cooked through. I will add 6 to 8 cardamoms, 8 to 9 strands of saffron and 8 to 10 crushed almonds at this stage. I will add sugar when rice is completely cooked through.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
For Kadhai Paneer, once the tomato gravy is ready, I will add required amount of water and also add the paneer cubes. I had marinated the paneer cubes with some salt, turmeric and red chili powder and later roasted it with little oil in the same iron kadhai. Now I will add these paneer cubes to the gravy and simmer it for few minutes. Clay pots retain a lot of heat even after the flame is turned off, so the cooking process will continue even after the pot is off the flame. So bear that in mind and add that to your cooking time. Finally, garnish with some coriander and yummy curry is ready. Doesn't this kadhai paneer looks mouth watering? It tasted delicious too, and that earthy flavor took this curry to another level. I loved it and highly recommend cooking in clay pots. I'm certainly going to cook in clay pots more often, but I would prefer to cook curries than cook dry vegetables. I think clay pots are perfect to make Indian curries. So the kadhai paneer is now ready. It took me around 30 minutes from start to end, excluding the prep time. But the rice kheer is still cooking. I think it is taking way longer than I expected. If I had pressure cooked the rice in milk water like I usually do to make kheer, it would have been a much quicker process. It's been more than an hour and rice still does not seem to be soft enough. I'm not sure if it's due to the glazed pot or if the unglazed pot would have made any difference. Not sure. However, next time I will certainly cook rice in pressure cooker and later continue to cook in clay or any another utensil. Also, it's best to keep one clay pot for curries and another one for rice and milk, as you do not want to cross transfer the taste and smell from one food type to another, as clay is porous and it retains flavor from last cooked food. So finally, after a long wait, rice is now soft and I will add required sugar and I will cook it for another few minutes before turning the flame off.
Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Now time to make rotis on clay tawa. I made the dough an hour ago so that the dough is soft and rotis has high chance to puff. I first heated the tawa on medium flame, but the roti did not turn out well. So I transferred the tawa to bigger stove, and once the clay tawa was hot, the rotis were cooked nice and puffy. So for tawa you certainly need high flame, which makes me feel that it will need a quicker replacement as it will not last that long. But these are really cheap. I bought mine for around $8, which is very affordable and certainly can be replaced more often.
You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon.
Finally, time to plate the food and taste it. I am very excited for it. I can't wait to try out the Kadhai Paneer and Roti. So let me see how it turned out. It is so delicious. Do give this recipe a try and if possible in clay cookware, as once you get to know the taste of food cooked in clay pot, you will want to eat it over and over again.
Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do.
Now let's look at the cleaning process for clay pots. I recommend do not store food in clay pots in the refrigerator, though you can do so and keep it on the countertop and bring it to room temperature before heating it up again. But I suggest once you have consumed food, transfer the excess food to another bowl and immediately wash the pot with plain water and using a coconut scrub. Do not use soap to clean, as soap will get absorbed into the pores of the clay and then leach into your food the next time you use it. You can use gram flour, salt, or baking soda to clean your clay pots. If there are any stains, rinse the clay pot first, then add some warm water in the pot along with 1 tablespoon of baking soda and leave it for few hours. Then use the coconut scrubber to lift the stains off. Lastly, even if after cleaning you still have that pungent smell in your clay pot, there's a quick fix. Add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and leave it overnight. Baking soda is absorbent and will absorb all the smell from your pot. Also, do not forget to show sunlight to your clay pots from time to time. Since clay pots are porous, it is important to follow these steps when cleaning the pots. Now let's see how to store the clay pots. Store your clay pot with lid inverted or with open lid so it can breathe. Make sure it is completely dry before you put it away. During periods of long storage, mold may form if it has not been cleaned and dried properly. To remove any mold, apply a paste of equal parts of baking soda and water. Leave it on for at least 30 minutes, then scrub it with coconut scrubber. Rinse well, let it dry thoroughly in bright sunlight, and it should be good to use again. Lastly, how to know when to discard the clay pot. Mild cracks will start to form at the back of the pot, then it is not advisable to use it for cooking. It may start to leak and ooze out oil at the back, then it's time to discard and invest in new one. So guys, this is how my first experience cooking in clay pots turned out to be. I loved the kadhai paneer cooked in unglazed kadhai. I still remember the taste and would certainly like to eat it again. Didn't quite like the taste of kheer cooked in glazed pot and would certainly give it a try again but in unglazed pot. Rotis were soft and fluffy, and that's how my experience was. So guys, this is everything I had to share about clay cookware. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, you learned something out of it, and most of all, got inspired to cook healthy and sustainable. I hope you will definitely invest into a good clay cookware. If you like this video, enjoyed watching it, then like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Mom and Me. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.